Hello everybody and welcome to this weekend. We have reached the final stage of the main event. It is the Comic-Con online stage. There are just 4 teams left remaining. They have been battling it out for 7 months across 3 legs of the online league. They fought their way through the group stage, through the championship elimination stage, and now they have arrived to the 3rd and final stage. I'm joined by Nick. I couldn't be more excited for these next few days.
Honestly, there's 4 teams which I'm excited to jump into as soon as we can. We've got ATK, we've got Goliath, we've got Dynamic, and we've got Sin 5. Unfortunately, there's only one game today. As much as we want to gobble it all up, we can't. Unfortunately, it's only ATK and Goliath. I say unfortunately, but it's definitely going to be a matchup.
These 2 teams have been having some of the most fantastic games against each other, providing some phenomenal entertainment pretty much every time they've gone head-to-head in recent times, and we have got that juicy game between them going up once again. ATK versus Goliath Gaming in the upper bracket final. Winner progresses to the grand final. Loser drops down to the lower bracket final, which will be taking place 2 days from now. But we have got such a scrumptious affair on the table today. But before we just continue breaking down this game, let's have a little bit of a look at the road as to how we actually arrived to this point. And just see the brackets as to how these games played out. Because there were some very entertaining and interesting games that led us to this point. Lots of contenders, Nick, lots of people who fell to the wayside on the way here.
Yeah, we definitely saw the likes of Energy, which we thought would be up here, but unfortunately they're watching at home, unfortunately. So we got ATK, we got Goliath. They're obviously the 2 teams that we'll be facing off today. ATK throughout the tournament so far, they're 20-0. They haven't dropped the map yet. The same comp you said about Goliath. They dropped one to Energy in the group stage. But over in the upper bracket, we got ATK. They won out against XD 2-0, as well as Energy. They found themselves against Goliath in the upper bracket final. Goliath in the upper bracket, they beat out Royalty 2-0, Dynamic 2-0, and now it's the Goliath of ATK that they'll be facing in the upper bracket final.
That's exactly it. ATK and Goliath have pretty much been head and shoulders above everybody else in South African esports in these games where Goliath played against the likes of Royalty and Dynamic. It was fairly one-sided matches for them, and they just looked super comfortable in general. Not really either of the teams giving them much competition. Exactly was the case for ATK as well against XD and Energy. They were clinical. They were disciplined, and it looked really solid from both of those teams. And now they're going to be going head-to-head, as you can see. Winner bracket round number 3, ATK versus Goliath. It's been the matchup of 2020 in South African Counter-Strike. They've played against each other a number of times already, and ATK just continuously have been getting the better of them. In fact, the streak is 13 consecutive match wins for ATK over Goliath.
Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, but the question that arises every time these 2 teams play together is today the day? Is today the day Goliath win out a map at least against ATK? We've seen, as of recent, they've been getting closer and closer. But as I said, is today the day?
It's a question that's been postured a number of times, Nick, and nobody really has the exact answer. ATK, props to them. They just continue finding ways to stay at the top, right? It's one thing reaching number 1, but it's another thing altogether maintaining your position at the top. So there we go. We have a look at how this bracket played out exactly, how these 2 teams reached this point. They had to go up against stiff opposition. That didn't stop them. They proved that they deserved to be here. And now we have the match, the battle of the Titans, the 2 top teams in South African Counter-Strike going head-to-head once again. And I'm just so keen for this game.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting one to feast our eyes on. As you said, the 2 heavyweights of the South African scene, right? Goliath, they've pretty much beaten out everyone in and around their position. ATK, the same can be said about them. As you said, they're first in the country. It's one thing getting there, it's a different thing staying there. And today is definitely going to be one of the bigger tasks. Winner of this matchup takes an extra 7,000 Rand in the prize pool, which is something to keep in mind. Definitely incentive to win this one out, to go through to the grand final, which is BO5, so it's definitely going to be exciting. But ultimately, it's going to be a one to feast our eyes on.
Yeah, it certainly is, Nick. And we're going to be feasting our eyes on this in a couple of minutes. The players are getting ready. But before that, we have some fantastic content to show for you guys. We have got interviews with both of the captains of the 2 teams that are going to be playing. Of course, Mistim, the captain of ATK, ADM, the captain of Goliath Gaming. We're going to be able to hear what their thoughts are of this match. Let's take it away with the interviews. We have got the captain of Goliath Gaming CSGO team at the moment, ADM, on the line, and he has got a massive task on his shoulders today going up against ATK. ADM, tell us, man, what is going to be different about today?
I think the past few months we've realized our fault when we versed these guys. We've lost them like 12, 13 times now, and I think we've came to the realization of how to beat them. And we're going to execute the plan that we have, and I'm confident about today, and I think the team is as well.
I'm sick to see that you guys say you're confident. Obviously, we spoke to you a while ago that you said you guys become different beasts at this stage of the tournament. So we've been seeing the Vertigo scores get ever closer and closer. So now, today, are you going to make it a loss for ATK? I want to hear a yes or a no. I know you're going to. I know what you're going to say, but I want to hear it from your mouth to my ears.
Yeah, we're going to beat these guys today.
Yeah, I like the confidence, bro. So, Adam, just talking a little bit more about the team. You guys have recently brought Bunter, which is, of course, the international analyst, into the mix. What sort of depth has he added to your guys' roster?
He's brought in a lot of different variations we can have on our CT side. He hasn't really dabbled with our T side, which is what I want him to do, which is fine. So our CT sides have looked a lot more diverse, a lot more aggressive. We have like contingency plans, so if something goes wrong or whatever. And on top of that, he's also looking at our opponents as well, which is what we mainly wanted him to do. The CT stuff was just a bonus, but yeah, overall he's been really good for us.
So you say that he's only dabbled into your CT side. So you basically say to me that this isn't Goliath's final form. You know, Goliath, they've got stuff in the works, and they're definitely going to be up and about with ATK and stomping all the other competition next year.
Personally, I'm pretty happy with the way we approach T side, but I think once he does give his 2 cents, it will be a lot better, you know.
ADM, I'm interested to hear from your perspective what actually makes this ATK roster so strong, because like you said, you guys have had a lot of trouble going up against them in the past few months. Yes, you've been trying different things, and you finally are starting to close that gap, but what do you think sets them apart from everybody else?
You could describe it with one word, in my opinion, and that's just they have so much confidence. I don't think the way they play is anything special. The individuals also, like, if you look at them, they're good players, but they just have so much confidence, and I think that's what carries them above everyone else. I think a lot of teams fail, other than Sin 5, because if you look at Sin 5, they've got so much experience in that team. That's why, in my opinion, they've had the best games against ATK, just because they don't fear the names on that team or anything like that. And I think if another team approaches a game versus ATK with a lot of confidence, it'll be a lot closer than they expect, you know.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely the advice you'd give to other teams. But with regards to yourself, you know, you've been closing the gap. You say you're going to beat them today. So what makes you guys so close to ATK? What makes you guys so special?
We just started playing a lot more confident. I think when we were down 13-4 in that medal state final, I just told myself, like, it's looking very grim for us. I'm just going to play with no fear, and it worked really well for us. So ever since then, we've just been trying to do that in our scrims and just get used to that kind of mentality and play style. So come today, we're feeling really good about this fearless play style, and yeah, I wouldn't say it's going to catch ATK off guard. I just think on paper, I think we do have a better lineup than they do. And when we are all 5 on form, which if we're confident, which I know we are, I think they're going to have a very tough time against us today.
Okay, Adam, thank you so much for joining us and just giving us some insights into the team for this weekend coming up. Wish you guys all the best. You guys are that close to breaking the curse. Maybe today will be the day you get the job done. But again, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Matt.
Cool. So that was ADM, the captain and IGL of Goliath Gaming CSGO roster. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, as you were saying, to break this ATK curse in inverted commas, as you alluded to, it's like Goliath, they need to play their own CS. They can't be bullied by ATK. And exactly what ADM said there, if they play their own CS, they're going to take the game to ATK. And if they take the game to ATK, we may see a bit of an upset by layman's terms on the cards, but you never know. It's Goliath Gaming we're talking about here.
I also loved what he said about Sinister 5 and how they don't fear ATK because of the experienced names they have in their team, and they've been there, they've done that. They've got the wardrobe, forget about the T-shirts. So I really like the point that he made about how they don't fear ATK, because when you look at the ATK team, it's not like they've got a person who's been overseas and has been massively successful or anything like that. They've got like Fady, and they've they've got Slowy, who are of like very high impact players, but the point is that they're not some like international superstar. These guys are just, you know, some other South African players who have just found a really good mix of people. So they shouldn't really be this huge fear of ATK, which it seems like a lot of teams are. They're just like they're completely scared of them. So it's good to see that teams are starting to realize that they are just also another team and that they are in fact beatable.
That's exactly what ADM said there, right? He said if you take the fight to ATK, you play confidently, you may even have an upset on the card, right? And I think especially what ADM said there, he said their 5 compared to ATK's 5, there's not a massive difference between the two. He even rated Goliath's 5 better than ATK's 5, and I completely agree with him to a certain extent with that. So I think definitely if Goliath can play their own game today, you're definitely going to see maybe an upset by layman's terms, as I said, but it's definitely going to be a game to feast our eyes upon.
Yeah, we've been saying maybe for a long time though, Nick. Like you said, it's been 13 series in a row. Maybe this will be the one. That was ADM, guys. Got to see what he thought about this matchup and a little bit about the team as well. We have got the captain and IGL of ATK Arena CSGO team on the line with us. Welcome, Mistim. It's so good to have you here. We can ask you a few questions. I can see your teammates in the background, so I'm just going to jump straight in. You guys have moved into the gaming house recently in Cape Town, and it's actually the first time you guys would have been together as a roster because of, you know, the way that the whole year has been playing out. What's it been like for you guys spending some time together in person?
Doro's the only person that I haven't met yet, but I've met everyone. I've known them for a long time. So just the natural synergy is just really good. And yeah, everyone just gets along. We have certain rules in the house, so everything is clean and everyone just listens, and yeah. Everything's going really good.
Yeah,
awesome.
You got to watch the demos and wash the dishes at the same time. But Gareth, I wanted to ask, obviously this whole thing's in preparation for your overseas endeavours, so do you think this is definitely going to help you and aid you in the fact of the venture over towards North America and see how you guys perform there?
I think because Reese is in here, we can't get as much work done. But with us four, I think it's going to be a very good preparation for when we go. But because Reese is in here, we can't do as much work as we would like to.
Okay. Gareth, let's talk a little bit more about the formation of this roster. When this team was created, there were a few question marks that, like, people thought this is going to be the 5 that ATK looked to take overseas. Maybe not necessarily the names they expected in the roster, but you guys have completely proven over the past few months that you fully have what it takes to be the best in South Africa. What do you think really makes it, what really does it come down to that has led to you guys to be so successful over the past 5 months or 6 months?
I think it just, like, for me, making a team, it all comes down to the synergy of the players. And as soon as Slowy and Dory joined the team, there was just this instant click. And I think the roles that everyone plays, it just fits really well. And everything just flows really good. Everyone knows what they need to do. The work ethic is really high. And that's where Spray comes in, and he's constantly giving us homework, making sure that we're not staying complacent.
Okay.
And we're always on top, because playing number one, or being number one, sorry, people are always trying to like overtop you, sort of thing. So you always need to be a step ahead. They're stealing your strat, stealing your defaults, anti-stratting, and he makes sure that we're not staying complacent the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, they say it's much easier to reach number one than it is to stay at number one. You touched on Spray a little bit there. What else does he bring to the roster? Of course, for anyone who doesn't know, he's actually a coach from Israel, and he's worked with a number of other teams. He worked with the original ATK roster in America as well. What has he really been helping you guys with inside and outside of the server?
Yeah, so me, I was... like throughout my entire teams, I was never really meant to be like an IGL, even though I wanted to be. So he's helped me grow into like a really good IGL at the moment. So he feeds down a lot of experience towards me, and regarding the entire team, he keeps us in check. So just a bit of like personal information about Spray is that he works in the army, so he brings a lot of discipline to the team. And when everyone is trying to overextend, or when it's those eco frags, he always brings us back down to earth and says, like, guys, we need to be keeping this many people alive. This is the economy. Like, this is what we should be doing. There's no need to overextend. So he kind of just brings us down to earth when things are getting a bit rough and things like that.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, everyone loves a good eco-frag to themselves. But Gareth, you spoke about what you guys do in the team and the discipline. You guys are definitely number one with no doubt, but Goliath, they're edging ever closer, and today you play them again. Are we going to expect anything different besides an ATK 2-0, or are they closing the gap a little bit?
I think Goliath are improving every single day, especially on Vertigo. The score was getting close like every single day that we play them. But I think it's going to be a lot closer game, but I still think it's going to be a 2-0.
Okay, Gareth, thank you so much for joining us and just giving us some of your thoughts and insights into the teams. We wish you all the best for the matches coming up, and we'll see you on the server.
Thank you, I appreciate it, guys.
Okay, cool. That was Mr. the captain and IGL of ATK Arena's CSGO team, just giving us a bit of insight into how his team is structured and how things work. Quite interesting to hear the impact that Spray has had. I would even go as far as to say he's one of the reasons that's enabled them to be this successful in this short of space of time. Because like I said, you look at the names in this team, they didn't have world beaters to begin this roster off with. Even Mustum said he's come in and he's taken over the reins as IGL, and he has been able to elevate this team to the #1 in the country. Spray has to have played a large part in that.
100%. And as you said, it's easier to get to #1 than stay there, right? I think Spray is definitely one of those people to, as Mustum said, he bought in that discipline that he got from the army, so kudos to him. And definitely when you're staying #1, you can't be making mistakes. You can't let people abuse the mistakes you're making, the holes that you're creating. So 100% kudos to Spray. And I mean, ATK, Mustum and the boys, they're really flying the South African flag high. We know what they're going to do overseas, but now it's here and now. It's South Africa, and they're facing Goliath Gaming, which I think definitely it's been getting closer, as Gareth said. But it's definitely going to be an exciting matchup.
Exactly that. ATK, they've lifted the bar. Goliath Gaming, they're certainly getting to a point where they can reach it. Will they be able to get the win? We're going to have to wait and see. That was Mustum, the IGL of ATK, and that's what he had to say about this match. Welcome back, everybody, to the upper bracket matchup between ATK Arena and Goliath Gaming. My name is Hayes. I'm joined by Nick, and we are moments away from jumping into this fantastic game between these two incredibly skilled teams. Don't forget, when you have these two teams on the server's just so stacked with skill, Nick. These guys are so good at the game they play.
In fact, I mean, the 10 people that are going to be sharing the server, I mean, whoa, I mean, they could be the star player of any team they find themselves in. So, I mean, we don't even need to mention them, right? You can say, oh, Slowy and ADM. You can mention just the names, but we're seeing them in the server up against one another. It's the battle of the titans. It's ATK Goliath.
It certainly
is. Exciting things.
Oh, Nick, and just to let our viewers in on a little secret, we got wind of the veto. And when you're looking at your screen right now and you're seeing Inferno is the map that's going on, and you're saying, why the hell are we on Inferno? ATK always first ban Inferno against Goliath because it's the only map Goliath have beaten them on. Yeah, guys, we don't know what's going on either right now. ATK, they decided to ban Vertigo, Nick, because of how close their games have been against Goliath recently, which means they leave Inferno open. And ATK and Goliath, they pick it because it's their best map. Nick, what's going on?
I was so confused. I saw it and I said, okay, surely we're going to see like a Vert and a Dust 2 once more. But no, it's different. It's Inferno, it's Mirage, and it's Overpass, the 3 maps. I think it's definitely going to be exciting. And as you said, why pick Inferno? Why has Inferno come out the bag? Has ATK got secrets for us all that none of us know? Can they let the cat out of the bag? I want to know. I want to know now, and I want to my mind to be settled. I don't know what's going on.
So many questions, Nick. It's definitely something ATK had to eventually rediscover was Inferno as the map. They couldn't just completely discount it and not play it at all whatsoever. It's one of the most popular, if not the most popular map in World Counter-Strike, and especially with them going overseas, they can't have, excuse me, a permaban like that. So, keen to see them phasing it back into their map pool, right? The question is, do they have what it takes to beat Goliath? Because in the past series they've played against one another, the only time Goliath has been able to beat ATK is on Inferno. Literally is the only map they've won against ATK, if I'm not mistaken. So I just have no idea, Nick. I have no idea. Are we going to be seeing Goliath kicking off this match with a win on Inferno, and then dropping a bit of pressure on ATK heading into Mirage? Again, Mirage isn't a pick that we've seen being brought to the table too often by ATK. So many question marks. It is the upper bracket final, so both of these teams still have a life in the competition if this doesn't go their way. But this is definitely going to be providing for an interesting spectacle.
This is definitely a curveball, which I don't think anyone saw coming. Unless you had inside info, I don't think anyone would come to me and say, ATK, they're not going to ban Inferno into this. If someone said that to me, I'd literally say, you don't know what you're talking about. You haven't been watching any of the past series.
Yeah.
But now we've feasted our eyes on Inferno, Mirage, and Overpass. As you said, Mirage hasn't really been coming out in the BO3s.
Yeah.
Maybe in the BO5 in a Game Cup we saw a while ago, but ultimately it's just been the Verts, the Dust 2s, maps like the Nuke. Yes, exactly. So now we're seeing two maps in which Goliath are very sound on, that being Overpass as well as Inferno. So again, the question arises, is today the day?
Yeah.
You never know. We're seeing Inferno come out, so that's a curveball I didn't expect coming. So it makes me ask myself the question 10 times over.
Yeah.
Is today the day?
Well, I mean, ATK definitely have a plan, right? They don't just like, we'll just float Inferno and see how it goes. They knew once they first banned Vertigo and they leave Inferno in the pool, Goliath are definitely going to be picking Inferno, Nick. So they must have been fully prepared and ready for the map to be brought to the best of 3 as we jump straight into the pistol round here. The first round of the Comic-Con Online main event, the third and final stage of the VS Gaming Masters. It's been happening for the past 7 months. We've finally culminated in this point, and look at the pistol round coming out of Goliath. 3 players hiding in second middle, and they peek out together and they take down Doru, who was just looking for some harmless information.
Hey, Adam gets the first kill of the upper bracket final, and we're into the thick of things. It's 0-0, but it's a 4v5, and that favors Goliath as they're going to creep up Banana. The bomb is in hand, but this rotate from Mistim is already coming in. They seem to have the read, but they're just going to creep and crawl up the Banana position. Massacre looks like he's going to take first contact. The flashes are coming in, but this bait and switch with Family and Emo is going to be pivotal.
Yeah, this is the problem. As you said, Mistim's already rotated through this, so there's 3 players here for ATK to try and deal with this hit. Mistim even throwing a support flashbang, his 2 teammates peeking off the back of the flash, but it's Massacre who finds the first blood on the bomb side, and ADM, he's already got the flank locked down. Although in the meanwhile, the B bomb side's being taken control of by Goliath, and it's only Mistim left in a 1 versus 3. We've seen him do it before, but can he do it again? It's going to have to be the ace clutch. He's looking to try and force the player off the plant, but he's not going to be able to. And how on earth does he get into the bomb side? Crossfires are plenty set up right now by Goliath, giving him nothing. Oh no, he misses the shot on Cunny. That could have been the entry he needed. He's actually been offered up a few opportunities now, but he just can't connect on the shots. Time is dwindling. He has the kit, but there's just too much to ask of him right now. ADM started off the round, and he finishes it as well.
Goliath posts the first round of the upper bracket final, and we're into the juice right as you see it. Inferno being the map pick of Goliath. We expect them, by their Counter-Strike odds, to take this, but you never know. It's ATK. They're 20-0 in the tournament so far. Maybe this is the day they drop the first map pick, but we're going to see a force buy come up from ATK, and they definitely don't want to be in too much of a deficit going into this pick.
Yeah, as you said, force buy coming straight back to the table here for ATK after they lose the pistol. Inferno CT side, I love the force buy myself. If you lose the pistol, it's just one of those maps with very narrow choke points you can look to try and exploit with the upgraded pistols. They've also got the scout there on Slowy to try and do some chip damage. But how do Goliath approach this? It doesn't look like they're going to be taking any aggressive options. You can see them just congregating together towards the apartments area, getting some information. Slowy's been spotted out, and he has no choice but to drop back. So Goliath just taking map control bit by bit here, forcing ATK back, and this is the perfect start to the round for Goliath. They haven't lost a single player, and they've successfully taken some map control, but Slowy continuing to reaggress here, lands a fantastic shot onto Adaro, and that sort of throws the cats amongst the pigeons now, Nick, a little bit. Do Goliath just continue with this? Do they continue working towards the A site, or do they reconsider their options after losing a player? ATK are taking the gamble. They've rotated the extra man towards B, but unfortunately for them, Goliath are sticking around A.
That's definitely something to keep in mind, but we did see Mistim, instead of him purchasing up army, he's actually dropped the FAMAS over towards Fady, and he's over towards Apps. Okay. So he's definitely going to be something to keep in mind, but they've smoked the library off rather, and Fady, he's actually going to take contact by Zip Zip in this Apps position. The question is, are they going to wrap the bomb site? Zip Zip takes Fady's head off. He zips up Fady's body bag, and Massacre is going to take down Slowy towards the library, and now there's no one in the bomb site. It's a vacant A bomb site.
Yeah.
It's a 3v4, and if you're ATK, you're saving these armors and deagles into the next round.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I think ATK should be saving these weapons. They're going to be saving in the next round regardless. Mistim's even retrieved the scouts, so there's literally no reason for them to throw these weapons and armor away. And you can see the call does come through. Goliath, after losing the first player in the round, don't drop another player thereafter. So mission success for them. Oh man, Nick, just to talk a bit about the veto again. These two teams have been playing quite a lot of CS against each other recently, and one of the consistent maps we've seen brought to the table is Vertigo. And now each time they play against one another in Vertigo, they've actually played 4 times on Vertigo. It's been 16-13, 16-5, 16-13, and 16-14 in favor of ATK on every occasion. But the problem is, it's getting closer and closer for Goliath, right? So ATK make the decision, let's just ban Vertigo off the blocks here. Let's take that trump card away from them and float Inferno, which has historically been a problematic map for them.
Yeah, and it's interesting to think, like, do you think ATK have, under wraps, been practicing this map like 5 times a week? Maybe.
Yeah.
As you said, right, Inferno is a worldwide known map. It goes to deciders more often than not. I think it's actually more statistically the 3rd map out of every team in the world, pretty much. So if you're looking to go overseas in the ATK camp, you really can't be first banning Inferno, as you said. That can't be an avenue you're going to go down. But now the question is, you're playing Goliath on their most favored map, where they've pretty much destroyed everyone else in the scene. They've even beaten you on this map in the past.
A number of times as well.
The question is, do ATK have what it takes to not drop a map in the tournament? I mean, right now, it's just an anti-eco. There's not really much to talk about besides these deagles. Fady's going to get contact over towards Apps. If he's good for 2, then maybe we have a conversation on our hands.
Fady.
That's a retrieved AK, and he could drop that arm over towards someone, but Massacre's going to try to push the issue.
Yeah.
But I'm so confused right now. The fact that I'm even watching Inferno.
Yeah, but you posed some fantastic questions there. What is the approach from ATK right now? Have they been practicing this map in scrims and just trying to keep it a secret and feel that they're fully prepared enough to bring it to the upper bracket final? Or maybe they just feel like because they have the extra life, they can see how things are going between them and Goliath on this map and just use it as a bit of an opportunity to feel things out. Remember, this is the first map of the series. Lose this, you're going to Mirage, which is ATK's map pick. So I think they're just using this as an opportunity to feel things out. But Fady tapping her with the AK will get taken down by Massacre, and that's a problem because he was the only player on the A bomb side.
Definitely a problem. And now there's 3 deagles that are going to try to retake the site. And if you're ATK, you're probably going to want to go for this. You're going to fully invest into next round regardless. But the question is, how do these deagles how are they able to activate? There's a flash on Blaze, and that is going to come out to blind the players over towards the site. And now they're going to try to push the issue. Massacre over towards default. He's going to get his head ripped off by Mistim. And now it's ADM left over towards Apps in a 1v3. He's going to take first contact over towards Blaze, take him up. But there's no armor, and there's no kits on the diffuser. Dorian's going to try to push the issue. He does have armor. So now it's ADM. He's going to finish off that gunfight, but the bomb's not planted for him, and ultimately he wins out the 1v3. ADM, he's showing up big. It's playoff ADM here. 6-0. 3-0 is the score for Goliath. And my word, Hayes, have we got a game on our hands.
Yeah, if these first 3 rounds are anything to go with, Nick, the players are hitting shots and they've pitched up. They had their oatmeal this morning and they're ready to tap some heads. What a fantastic clutch by ADM to salvage that round, which was looking so desperate there. Goliath Gaming brought down to the 1v3 against the Pistols. And fortunately for them, ADM was able to get across the line. He's got the AWP immediately picked up again here, but courtesy of all that damage that ATK did in the previous round, there's no money left in the bank here for Goliath, Nick. So even though they won 3 consecutive rounds, if they lose this, they're back to no money.
Yeah, 100%. And that's definitely something you'll be seeing often throughout any big matchup, right? The economy game is really where sometimes games are won and lost. So those anti-ecos that Goliath need to pull out, they need to make them as clean as possible. Losing 4 players in the previous is not going to make your bank look too great.
No.
But ADM, he's got the AWP out. He's 6-0 and he's feeling it. And he's going to clear over towards middle and take Slowy out the server. Goodbye, Slowy. ADM is faster than you.
Plucks him out the air.
And now it's a 4v5. And what? I'm so confused right now.
It's early days, Nick. It's okay. Don't put too much stock into this just yet. It is early days, and ATK have been known to be slightly slow starters on the server before. They're one of those. They're one of those beasts. They're like a snowball. The more they roll, the more they gather, the more momentum they get. So we'll have to see how things work out as Goliath start working their way towards the say bomb site. There's a 2-man setup right now for ATK. First contact taken by Fady. That allows Mistim to activate. He gets a kill as well, but his job's not done just yet, and he's going to get overwhelmed as Adaro times his peak to perfection. ATK lose control of the A bomb site as Goliath Gaming secure a plant.
And definitely, if you're Blaze and you're Doru, the question is, do you choose to retake this? No kit, possibly one to be retrieved on the site. but there's pretty much no util. You've got 2 smokes. Actually, it is util there now. There's 2 smokes, a flash and a molly, possibly to flash out some positions. But there's no real avenue in which you can win out this retake, right? Unless there's a preemptive peek from the pit position that allows Blaze to get an avenue into the round. There's no real way in which you can retake the bomb site. So I would have been a massive fan of ATK rather retreating, playing around those 2 rifles in the next round, possibly forcing up some deagles, maybe with the extra money that the 2 saved rifles could pitch in.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Goliath, they're just going to shove them further down the grave, post 4 on the board, and now it's going to be a partial investment from ATK.
Have a look at the bottom of your screen. Okay, we've just switched players to Massacre, but ADM is 9-0 right now. He got a 3k in that round with the AWP, and traditionally you don't actually see the AWP doing too much work on the T side of Inferno, so that's a great start for him. ATK now, they're just going to be saving, looking to see if they can get something done with the pistols.
Slowy's in Mexico?
Okay.
How is
this is
Slowy
undetected
in
as well.
Mexico?
Goliath aren't aware of this. And he has got the trigger discipline right now as well. Spotting out 2 of the players. He's going to take down Adaro. He swivels and he can't find the frag on Zip Zip. Oh, how much of a difference that would have made. If he could get the 2-piece, pick up the AK, and then disappear like a thief in the night, Goliath would have had a massive headache. However, it's just a 1-for-1 trade. And Kani goes one further as he secures the man advantage, getting Mistim on the angle. And off the back of that, they're going to turn the burners on and just start charging in towards the A bomb site.
And this 5th round seems to be all she wrote. There's no real way in which ATK should have an avenue back into this round. Maybe if Blaze gets something done over towards Arch, or Fady rather, over towards Apps, but he's just going to be taken out by Zip Zip, and it's going to be 5-0 on the board. And as you said, ADM, he's 9-0. He wasn't able to post a kill this round.
That's okay.
But the question is, what sort of kill streak are we looking at? Are we a Merciless as the next kill? Are we going to see a Ruthless, maybe even a Nuclear?
Damn.
You never know. ADM, he's turning up. As you said, you spoke to him a while ago, Matt. He said to yourself, when these times come, you're going to see different Goliath players on the server.
Yeah.
And ADM, he's 9-0 and he's feeling it.
Yeah, the one thing I will say about ADM is ever since he's taken over the reins as IGL, he's definitely taken a bit of a backseat in the fragging department. If you think back to the ADM everybody saw in Energy, before he took the reins as IGL, he was just like this mad fragger, one of the best AWPers in South Africa, and he still is. But since he's been fully committed to the IGL role, he's definitely dropped back a little bit. But we all know that he still has that potential behind him, and he's gotten off to a great start here on Inferno as we go into the second gun round. And Nick, this is where things start to get really interesting, because if ATK win this gun round, it's back to business as usual for them. However, if Goliath win this, that's when they start to put ATK in a bit of an awkward position. Maybe that's when they start second guessing themselves. Guys, should we even have picked Inferno in the first place? Should we even have floated it? We've been winning Vertigo. And that's when maybe some doubts start to creep in. So I'm really interested to see actually how this gun round plays out right now. You can see off the bat ATK being a lot more passive. They don't want to give any of these early fights up, Nick.
100%. And as you said, early fights, the last gun round, we saw Slowy pretty much falling in probably the first 10, 15 seconds of the round. And now he's still alive with almost 1 minute, 10 seconds to spare. So he's doing a good job for himself. And if you think of a high impact player for ATK, you think Slowy and Fady come to mind, right? So the longer in the round Slowy's alive, the more danger Goliath have to fight. And he's on the other side of the smoke, and he's going to try to get something done. The fading smoke will no longer shroud Canny's position. And now the question is, can Slowy activate? Is he too fast for Canny here? So he gets one, and he gets out and dodge, but he's actually going to go back. And this could mean that he's overstayed his welcome.
Yeah,
Massacre gets the trade. And now you're vulnerable from this wrap, but Mistim's going to get flashed, but just seems to be a 4v4 post plant. But this fight over towards Arch seems to be where the round could be won or lost.
Yeah, but look at how Goliath are reposturing themselves now because of Massacre's position. They know they can try and fake the B hit. Massacre, though, pushes through his own smoke. He's going to catch Mistim off guard. Yeah, nice shot. This has now opened up the map quite a lot for Goliath. Do they continue to go towards B? They don't actually have much time left remaining. ADM misses the all-important shot, and that could actually activate Doru, who's on top of second Origins right now, waiting for an opportunity to pounce. Only 10 seconds left here, Nick. Goliath needs to get in the bomb side and secure a plant, but they've left it too little too late, and they get shut down. The flanks already come through from Fady, and Goliath Gaming, they had that round in the palm of their hands, but they just can't convert it, and ATK get their first on the board.
Oh, I thought Massacre could have died off the time, but 100%, that round was pretty much predicated off that Arch fight that went down. Mistim was able to lose it out. Actually, he got taken down by Massacre, but then that Arch, that lane push rather from Fady, he got all the info that it wasn't even going to be A.
Yeah.
And by that time, there's 20 seconds left on the clock. You can leave your two B players on the B bomb site. They run into B, ATK won the round, and they've posted their first, but the economy for ATK is not looking too great, and the same can be said about Goliath. So this goodbye round is pretty important for both sides.
ATK looking to take some deep banana control. It seems like Slowy's just trying to find his way in the game right now. You can see the way he's getting super aggressive and re-peeking. And look at this push right now. Slowy. It's not warm-up. The official has started. Just so aggressive. But like I said, you can see he's trying to force himself to get into a rhythm right now by being aggressive like that. And finally, he's able to get the kill and get out alive. At the back of that Goliath are trying to find their way into this A bomb site. Frags being traded one apiece, giving ATK a nice foothold right now as the crossfires remain in position. The one thing Goliath do have going for them is Massacre, who's been able to work his way through the arch. He just needs a bit of time here. He's going to be catching Slowy off momentarily. There's no way Slowy makes the read. Does Massacre go for the knife? He wants the knife. He gets behind him. He's waiting for his opportunity. Or he just goes for the trigger discipline. He lurks straight past him. He's able to take down Doru. The information doesn't come through quick enough, so he doubles down and takes Slowy as well. And now it's a 1 versus 2 on the bomb site. Missed him somehow needs to keep this under control while Blaze rotates across, looking for the headshot. He does have the trigger discipline. Makes sure he can secure the kill. Now he just needs to stay alive for as long as he can. Blaze going to be throwing some support util in, and it looks like ATK have done enough to secure the round, even though Massacre had those heroics.
Honestly, these first buy rounds, these first gun rounds, they could literally go either way. It's literally a flip of a coin whether one team wins or loses a round. And that round was ultimately just a mistiming there. Slowy, he looks over towards Arch. He actually gets timing over when Massacre pushes the smoke and pushes through the archway. Massacre does the trigger discipline, gets 2, but ATK and Mistim can win that round with a smile on their face. Even though it was messy, they were able to win it out, but now they just have to fight off an eco. But one thing Canny is not predicated for is the deagle. But ADM, he's got 2 towards upper B. The B hold has completely disintegrated, and now it's Fady and Mistim scratching their heads, wondering where this gun round went. Where did this anti-eco go?
Jeez, man.
Looks like ATK, I mean, Goliath already posted 6, and ATK, what has happened? What has happened these first 8 rounds? I'm so confused.
I don't know, Nick. Good question. The one thing I will say is when these two teams used to play against each other on Inferno, because ATK have been perma-banning it for a number of months now, is it was always the CT side that used to let ATK down on this map. Their T side is great. Don't get it twisted. Their T side is fully functional on Inferno. It's always been their CT side that's let them down. And it seems to be that they consistently are giving up these early advantages, which the T side are then capitalizing on and creating gaps for themselves. So if I'm ATK, I'm going back to the passive option. I'm just locking down the bomb sites and the angles, and I'm making sure that we have them under control. Not necessary to take these early fights.
Yeah, 100%. But one thing that you have to keep in mind, right, is even though your T side is where your strengths are, you can't be going down 12-3,
yeah, sure.
13-2 at the half, right? You got to at least be posting those 5 or 6 rounds. And if you're ATK, you're on an uphill battle, but they've got a bit of a wonky buy going. Blaze, he's got the 5-7 and body armor. Slowy and Doru, they just down to the Deagles and a molly on Doru. But we're going to see what they can get done. ADM, he's going to try to see what he can get done towards upper B. He's got the M4 in hand, but the trade comes out from Doru, and that is what you need to do if you're ATK on buy rounds. But ultimately, he's zipping up the body bags once more. Fady is going to fade out of existence. Slowy, he's out. Mistim and Doru are going to try to get something done, but Mistim with his AK, he's got 2, and he's made the shot.
Oh my God.
He's got a 3rd, and now it's Doru left in a 1v1. No armor in hand, but maybe if he pushes this arch smoke and catches Canny off guard, he can get something done. Canny left in a 1v1. Doru's going to try to retrieve that AK.
He's got it.
And he's going to try to press the issue.
Yeah, he's got no kit, no armor, no util, so it's literally going to come down to the gunfight. He can't force the defuse either because there's no kit, and Kani, he's not giving an inch right now. He's just sitting and playing the information game. Doru was hoping that he might over-aggress as he now works his way into the bomb site. But like I said, there's just no time here for Doru to work with. He needs to force Kani out into the open. Kani going to swing wide, cool, calm, and collected, gets the job done, secures the 7th for Goliath. But that got super close, Nick, and remember, it was just an eco round for ATK. So even though they're so far behind, at least they've been able to keep Goliath's economy in check, which means that if they are able to win around here, they reset Goliath and they can get straight back into this half. But that's all predicated off if they can win this round.
It's all ifs and buts, 100%. But the thing is, as ATK, if they do win around, just as you said, they're going to be looking at posting another 2 on the board if they do so cleanly. So then, if that's the case, you're looking at 7-3 if they win this buy round, and then possibly 7-5 if they clean up the rounds afterwards, which means we have a game on our hands once more. And as you said earlier, right, ATK, they're going to lean back on their T side.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
If ATK posts 6 or 7 rounds and make this game as competitive as possible on the CT side, we may be having another 2-0 on our hands. But this is all ifs and buts. As I said, you never know what's going to happen. Goliath, they 5 rounds to the good.
Yeah. And
they have all the info in the world besides Banana. So
Yeah,
not all the info in the world. Cancel that.
I like the way that Goliath are approaching this round right now. You can see how much util they still have left in reserves compared to ATK. They just play super passive at the start of the round, and they force ATK to use their little utility they have at their disposal. And look at what's left for ATK. 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and a molly to try and combat the rest of this round. There's still a minute left on the clock, whereas Goliath, they've got plenty left. And that's why Slowy forces the issue, and he takes down Kani. But this time, Nick, he doesn't hang around after he has found the frag.
100%. Or actually, as you say that, he's going back for more.
Okay, Slowy.
He's actually going to get so much info if he peeks this bracket angle. He's actually going to take the more passive approach. But it is going to be the other AWP we're going to feast our eyes on ADM. He's going to see what he can get done towards upper B. But slowly, as you said, he just needs to fall back there. You got the man advantage. Yes, you don't have much info, but you got the man advantage in the site. You can still play that 3-2 setup and play a retake. And if the frags don't go your way, either as it may. But slowly, he's going to give out that man advantage.
Oh, 20
and our Max is
seconds.
going to best it towards Arch. And I don't know if Mistum spotted the bomb. It doesn't seem to be the case because there's a rotate over towards upper B. But it is just going to be Fady in the pit trying to get something done. Mini pit, but he's going to get tapped down by Massacre. And it looks like it's going to be an 8th round on the board for Goliath.
Since when is Zeus IGLing for Goliath right now? Just like pushing this round for 4 or 5 seconds there before they plant. Man, this is some Navi-esque T-sides coming out from Goliath right now. Just to talk a little bit about Slowy, because I can already imagine Twitch chatter going crazy, just seeing him getting super aggressive like this and costing his team by giving his life up. But the thing is, right, is that's also when ATK are super successful, or when Slowy is making those sorts of plays and he's getting those frags and he's getting that information for his team. He's one of those fearless individuals. Yes, sometimes his over-aggression costs him and his team, but more often than not, it yields success. So you need to keep that in both both aspects or perspectives in mind, right?
100%. And the previous round, as you said, with Slowy's aggression, he literally walked down bottom Banana, scoped up, and he was able to get the opening frag of that round. And what happened after that? ATK won the gun round. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. Maybe that round you could say he stuck around, he went too far, and yes, that happens, but it's all ifs and buts, right? If Slowy peeks down middle, he gets another frag, we're going to be singing his praises. We're going to say, oh my days, what a great play from Slowy. But if he sticks around, he gets taken out, then it's like, Slowy, maybe rethink that one. But it's actually going to be a force buy coming out from ATK. They've called the timeout to talk this one over, and it is going to be a full investment for the most part coming out from them.
So it's interesting. Both Blaze and Slowy had just enough money to drop. Oh, are they going to commit to the full force here? Because, okay, there we go.
Yeah,
finally, the Doru and Fady commit to the cause as well. I saw Blaze and Slowy had enough money to drop M4s, but instead they decided to go for full util instead, which I respect, because I think that it's more important to have full util on the CT side of this map than it is to have full rifles. And they've got the 2 M4s mixed amongst a couple FAMASas as well. But lose this round at your peril, ATK, because then you're going to be super far behind the game. And you can see again they're looking for banana control. But look at this aggression from Goliath. They're just charging up middle right now. Slowy again going to get caught off on the angle with no trade on the table. And Goliath Gaming, they've already taken down the 2 A players. My goodness gracious me, Nick. Now it's just Mistum left, trying to spray through the smoke. But he has no choice but to save. Are they even going to be able to save anything? Is there going to be anything left to save?
That is the question.
No.
Okay, Mistum's leg down to 18, so he's going to get out and dodge, but he's going to get chased down by ADM. ADM, he wants that frag, and he's going to catch Mistum. He is going to, but just with regards to that round, Goliath say, ATK, you can have Banana, right? We're just going to 5-man up middle. We know that from the previous gun round that you took Banana with 3 players. So if you took Banana with 3 players, that means there's only 2 on the air bomb side. So maybe if you're ATK, you're going to try to switch up the setup. Maybe you want to play a double arch or a double lane setup instead of 1-1 and spread your resources thin and let you get picked out without any trades. So maybe that's something that's going to be coming out in ATK's mind. Maybe if you are going to take Banana with 3 players, there's nothing wrong with doing so, but you got to change your setup on A. You can't be having 1 lane, 1 arch. You're just going to get picked off. Players are going to be pretty much effectively fighting 1v5s in those scenarios, and you're not going to win the round. And now they find themselves 7 down, and how are they going to mount a comeback?
One thing I will say, it was a really nice change of pace from Goliath in that previous round, just deciding to get super aggressive because they've been so passive in their approach so far on this T side, and just started out perfectly. As you said, making the read of the deep banana push, realizing there's going to be space towards the A side. Oh, that's a bit of a misplay there. Kani blocks his teammate's molly, so he ends up standing in it, which definitely aided Blaze's cause. He made it away with only 17 health, so A reprieve of sorts for ATK as they find the opening frag. A rare occurrence as well.
Yeah, ATK is just one of those teams where, like, even though this is a partial investment, you wouldn't be surprised if they won this sort of round.
Yeah, for sure.
But we definitely got to see what gets happened. Mr. He's got a pretty advanced position in apps. He's pushed the apps balcony, the boiler position rather, and he's got all that info. So this has allowed ATK to somewhat of a gamble stack towards the B bomb site. There are 4 players here, but the problem is if Mr. overstays his welcome or finds himself in no man's land, Goliath can just get out and dodge and go towards the A bomb site. But it does look like Goliath are going to congregate towards bottom middle, and they seem to have the read that possibly ATK could be stacking this bomb site, and ATK are going to leave 4 here. ADM's going to try to push the issue, but he'll just find info for free pretty much, but it's just missed him over towards the A bomb site, and he's probably going to get caught into no man's land. I assume he's over towards lane. He's actually taking contact. He's going to fall back towards the site, but there's still 4 players over towards B.
Which is exactly the perfect read that Goliath are making right now as they head towards the A site, not without showing some presence towards B though, just to make sure that they do have information as to what's going on right now, and they're starting to wrap onto the A site where just Mr. lies in a corner waiting to welcome his opposition with open arms. He gets taken down, and Goliath have full control now of this A bomb site. Of course, ATK will have a crack at this because they are just saving, but unfortunately, Slowy, he gets turned and burned by Zip Zip.
We don't talk about that. That's fine.
No one saw that. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But one thing I do want to point out with that round, right? Even though Goliath are facing an anti-eco or an anti-partial buy in this sort of scenario, they're not rushing things. They're dotting their T's and they're crossing their I's. They're really going off of everything. And one thing that I do want to mention is ADM's throwing that smoke from Mexico, which actually allows for that arch trap to come in. It lands between the default box and graveyard, which means any player towards pit or mini pit can't do anything towards the players wrapping the site. So in that case, usually a player anchoring the A bomb site is over towards pit or mini pit. Seldom they are on the site.
Yeah.
And if he's throwing that smoke, you're completely nullifying that player.
Yes.
And then you have a free bomb plant. But in that case, Mr. was in the site. They get a free kill. No trade comes out. Goliath post 10. And ATK, they're down 8. And now we're going to see the mental fortitude come out.
Yeah, it's pretty much do or die from this position for ATK. If they lose this round, this half is certainly going to have gotten away from them. If they can somehow salvage a 4-11 or a 5-10 halftime scoreline, that wouldn't be the worst thing by any stretch, but they certainly are behind the game right now. All-important gun round. How do they approach this? Slowy's taken the AWP towards the B-bomb site this time, and he has an angle on the side of the smoke, and he will be able to take down Kani. Now they need to drive this early advantage home. They can't afford to give this advantage up elsewhere on the map by over-aggressing, over-peaking. And you can see Nick, they recognize the magnitude of the situation right now. Look at how they just turtled in the bomb sites, not taking any unnecessary fights. Literally just sitting back and waiting for Goliath to make the next move, and that move is going to be towards the B bomb site. There are 2 players here for ATK, but Goliath have 4 of their own. Util raining in as well. Blaze, though, has spotted out the first, done a decent amount of damage, and he's got the smoke to extinguish the fire, so he can remain in this position behind family. This has got to be where Slowy activates. He's waiting for the opportunity. There's a gap in the smoke, but he turns for the flashbang, still able to get the kill. Trade comes through. Blaze alive and kicking, not much longer. Doru, though, the first responder, will be able to get the kill and continue to delay this plant, which buys more and more time for the CTs to get in position. Still putting pressure on Goliath, making sure they can't get the plant. Now Adaro, he looks to force the issue, but he goes down, leaving Zip Zip in what must be an unwinnable position.
Especially with regards to where the bombs dropped, right? It's over towards backstage, and Zip Zip, he's going to try get something done, but he doesn't really have much to say in the round. And if you're ATK, you've posted 3, but you need to get the last 2 in the round. The anti-ecos that you've been, the eco rounds rather, that you've been facing against Goliath, you haven't been making them expensive as of recent, so the buy for Goliath is going to look great for the last 2 rounds. And as you were saying prior, ADM, he was 9-0, he's 17-4. He hasn't slowed down. Only 13 rounds have been played, and he's been getting a kill and then some each round.
At least he's living up to what he said, right? He said that confidence has been lacking in their matches against ATK, and now they have that confidence. They know that they can do it. They have that belief restored just because of how close their recent games have been, and now he's bringing that confidence to the server. And when the IGL is fragging off like that, everybody else, the ripple effect goes through the whole team. It lifts everybody else up as well. So let's see how the round plays out. Nice flashbang, but no kill going either way, just a couple shots exchanged. Goliath have been able to secure banana control without losing any players, so that's mission successful from their perspective.
B players have no util. You've tried to take banana in the beginning of the round. You haven't done so. And now you've got 2 players stuck on the B bomb site with no utility whatsoever. If there's a second orange's molly, if you're Blaze, you're probably dead. You're in the open, you're blind, you're dead. But they're actually going to gamble stack the A bomb sites. They've rotated Doe completely off. They're leaving Blaze, the man with a FAMAS, 61 points of health and no utility, to gamble stack effectively this A bomb site.
And it's not even like they have a huge amount of util to retake with either way. This has been a massive gamble. The roll of the dice for ATK does not fall in their favor, as Goliath are just biding their time. They know that they can post, Sean, because they have apartments control, they have brackets control. They know that ATK doesn't have any information, so they're just letting the clock run down. They're sowing the seed of doubt in ATK's mind, and now they're going to be executing onto this B bomb site where only Blaze lies in wait. A FAMAS in his hand, he quivers as they make their way forward. Can he somehow get the job done? Can he somehow get a kill at least before he goes down? No is the answer, and surely that is the round over.
And surely that's the save from ATK. You don't have any util to retake this bomb site. Yes, you've got 2 flashes.
And no money either.
Exactly. You don't have a molly to flash out family or emo, but it does look like they're going to go for this regardless. Maybe they're going to try a preemptive flash through the banana.
No, the
CT
calls come
smoke. Yeah,
through.
exactly. That's what I was hoping would be the case. But Goliath, they posted 11, and if you're watching this, you can scratch your eyes all you want.
Yeah.
This is real. This is happening. Not only are you watching an 11-3 scoreline, but you're also watching Inferno, which is the first curveball we got thrown. And Goliath, they've shown up. They're ready. They not only want their spot in the grand final, but they also want the extra 7,000 smackaroons that come along with it.
Yeah, of course, for anyone who doesn't know what Nick's talking about, the winner of this upper bracket final gets an extra 7,000 Rand added to their total prize pool. The team who comes first this weekend takes home a whopping 100,000 Rand in total, and I think it's 50,000 Rand for second place as well. So a total of 210,000 Rand on the line here at the Telkom VS Gaming Masters Season 5. We are into the final stage of the event right now, the Comic-Con online stage. Of course, Comic-Con started today, and we began our matches today. Upper bracket final right now. Goliath heading into the final round of this first half with the wind in their sails, looking to make it a 12-3.
And if you're Goliath and you make it a 12-3 half and you end up, worst case scenario, obviously losing this, then there's no way you're going to come back, right? Like 12-3 up and you're going to lose and Blaze, he's in no man's land. He's going to get taken out by Canny, and it looks like it's going to be a 12-3 half. And as I said multiple times, is today the day? Not only are we going to see ATK possibly dropping a map, but possibly losing a series. That's all ifs and buts though, as they're going to push the D bomb site in the last round of the first half. Massacre's going to try to push the issue, but this boost from Mr. comes in and he's good for 2, but he overstays his welcome. Canny comes in with the trade, and now it's a 3v2 situation. ADM and the half HP of Canny going to try to get something down, but spam with smoke from Doru.
Dirty.
Oh, Canny. Oh, he's just unfortunate. Now it's ADM left in 1v3. He's done it once already, but his barrel's been spotted out. Slowly wins out the frag, and 11-4 is the half.
Yeah, jeez, what a high-octane first half. We get a quick look at the numbers here. The captain and IGL of Goliath Gaming doing most of the damage for his team, 17-5. But let us not for 1 second discount the effort that the rest of the team brought to the table throughout that half. A fantastic team performance there from Goliath Gaming, it must be said. Really nice support flashes, very good decision-making. The individual players were there as well. You could see the way that Massacre was working Archers. It just looked really sound from Goliath. ATK, they haven't really found their footing here on Inferno. They shift to their favorite side on this map, the T side, but is 4 rounds enough to make it work, Nick?
That's a great question. Is 4 rounds enough to make it work? And missed him. He's going to be the first one to take contact. He's going to take down ADM, and Fady, he's going to push the issue over towards Apps and take down Canny. And just as you said, that is 4 rounds enough. ATK are going to make it more and then some. It looks like they're probably going to win out the pistol round, but you never know what they can get done. Adara is in the bomb site. He's only good for 1. Blaze and Slowy pretty much finish out the round. Massacre, he's left with a belt of utility and 4 players to take down. No kit in hand, and he's still going to stick around. Maybe he gets some eco damage done, you know. Blaze, he's still got that full armor. Doe, he's still got the full armor. Mr. he's still got that full armor. Oh, Mr. doesn't have armor, never mind.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than when you have full armor in the pistol round and your teammate just like love taps you.
Exactly.
It's like, dude, you don't understand. I was only going to have to spend $350 to get head armor in the next round, and you've just taken that away from me. As Massacre eventually will go down 11-5. ATK desperately needed to win that pistol round.
Yeah, 100%. Now they're 6 rounds down. If they clean up these extra Ecos, actually I say Ecos, but Goliath, they're not backing down. They're forcing right back into this. And as you said, a big fan of forcing back into this narrow choke points that you can smoke off over towards N1, over towards Arch, over towards Banana, and hold their smokes by 18 seconds if ATK choose to respect those smokes. But it is going to be two rifles and 3 SMGs inside of ATK against 2 scouts and a couple upgraded pistols. But that full belt of utility is something to keep your eye on.
So anybody who's not too familiar with Counter-Strike, you can look at the buy right now that Goliath have. They've got 2 scouts and a couple upgraded pistols, as Nick said. So the game plan here is, from Goliath's perspective, is to let the scouts do some chip damage and see if they can find a few tags on the T players. And then when those Ts push forward into the bomb sites, that's when the pistols can activate and try and finish off those frags. So that's sort of the 1-2 hit between the scouts and the pistols. ATK congregating towards the, say, bomb site right now, where there are 2 players and both of them are leaning towards Archway, where actually ATK are aggressing right now. However, fantastic util usage means that they're making it very tough for these CTs. And the pincer on the A site is perfect as ATK take full control. Nick, I think ATK have already, off the back of these 2 rounds, put the first half behind them, and they're now going to be focusing on their T side, where they can dictate the pace and they can start to control the game a little bit better.
Yeah, 100%. And when you're looking at a halftime score, you look at 11-4 and it's definitely doable, right? It's not like the halftime score where it's 14-1, where you only have 1 buy round in which you can lose. You've got a couple rounds to play with if you're ATK. So the question is, I don't think that they're going to upgrade these SMGs into next round, even though next round is going to be a bonus round for Goliath. They do have the four saved, or I say 4 saved, but they're actually going to push the issues, so maybe not 4 saved, but we're going to see what they can get done. Maybe ATK don't choose to upgrade the SMGs into the round after next, into the first buy round, because you've got a couple rounds to play with. But all that being said, you're 11-4 down. You were 11-4 down, rather. You're now 11-6. You've won out the round, 11-7 the first buy round. So the question is, are you going to choose to throw out those SMGs?
Yeah.
But all that's ifs and buts, right? That's if they win this round as clean as possible. But there's still the 4 saved the 3 saved pistols and the saved scouts on Canny from the previous rounds. So still stuff to get done with.
Let's see if Goliath can make something happen in this round as ATK starts to find their footing here on Inferno. Kani just going to charge across to his death. Do you think Slowy was just adding a little bit of extra spice to that frag there, Nick? Or do you think he was waiting for someone else to run into the open? Because I don't think that was the case.
Look. I mean, Slowy, he's feeling it. He knows that he's mad that he was 11-4 down.
Yeah.
And he's definitely going to try and rub salt into the wounds. But in the bomb site, there's one player cowering in the corner. That's Adam. And he's going to see if he goes maybe unchecked. But that nade is going to get dunked in his head.
Yeah.
The frag's got the way of ATK, and we're looking at 11-7.
Yeah.
And now the seeds of doubt are going to be planted into Goliath's head. The question is, can Goliath uproot them and win out the next gun round?
So this is actually a really interesting situation that ATK find themselves in right now, because they're used to just cruising through their matches, being in control for the entirety of the time, and not really having too much struggle or being fought too hard to get across the line. Now they're having to play from behind. They were down 11-4, as you said, coming into this half. This is going to be testing their tenacity and their mettle. Do they have what it takes to play from behind and to not get flustered and frustrated? Because, as I said, they're used to being ahead. So let's see now as we head into this first and all-important gun round. You pose the questions. Do ATK hold on to their bonus weapons? It looks like they are, Nick. 2 Mac 10s and a Galil will be taken into this next round by ATK. I don't know about this decision. Yes, they've got extra money in the bank to buy in the next, but when you're playing from behind and by such a margin, you need everything you can work with all the time.
Yeah, I agree with you, but Fady, he's going to try to get something done, and
that's because he had a Mac 10, right? He's like, cool, I'm just going to hold W, and it was just a waste.
And then you drop the first man, but
yeah, questionable.
Maybe Blaze can get something done. You never know. There's a couple head armored CTs. Actually, all of them besides Canny. ADM is on the glass cannon himself, so Blaze, he's ducked dive and dodged in towards Briar, trying to push the issue over towards Coffin. But as you said, with the Mac 10s, all you can do is W key. You've got the B bomb site. They've got the Goliath players. They're going to play retake, which is definitely the mature decision. They do have a couple mollies, and spam almost drops down, missed them. But it is going to be a 4v5 post-plant.
Yeah.
We are going to see what Goliath can get done here on the retake.
There is a kit for Zip Zip. There's a number of smokes, a number of mollies, but no flashbangs. Massacre, oh, how he would love to have found the kill. At least he's secured a bit of map control here for his teammates to start making their way forward slowly. He gets forced out by the fire. Now there's only 3 players left for ATK. They need to somehow force the issue. You can see Blaze is itching to push forward. 4 players coming through from Coffins right now for Goliath as Massacre leads the charge. And it seems like they've done enough. The diffuser's being stuck. Unless missed him. Unless Mistum can somehow get the job done. He gets the first, but no, he gets denied as Adaro finds the frag. My goodness, we could see the graphic of the defuse on our screen. No one was sticking the defuse. Nobody was considering he could have hidden. Nick, I think he actually could have even held his trigger discipline for a bit longer there.
Yeah, but like, that would have been the play of the tournament if we saw that.
For sure.
If we saw that go out. But as you said, like, could he have held back on the trigger a little bit? I agree to a certain extent, but if you're in Mistum stage, you see two players, you know the next guy's tapped the bomb, you're just going to try to get those two
You don't know
frags.
he's let go of the defuse, right?
Yeah, and obviously Mistum doesn't know that, but we're going to see what they can get done. Obviously, Mistum unable to win out that clutch. What? He was low HP, and that would have been a great round, but it's the next round, it's 7-12, it's 5-all, and Slowy. He's won out the first gunfight, and Fady, he's got the drive-bys, you know. He doesn't even need to stop holding A and D.
Yeah.
He's going to take Zip out, but there's re-aggression from Adaro. He's going to get all the info, though. It's going to be B, but there's still two players here. ADM over towards Family, going to try and get something done. Can he push him to smoke?
Oh, no,
he gets traded out by Mistum, and they're actually going to dip out to go back towards A, but Adaro is going to catch them on the rotate. Now it's a 2v2. What have you been doing if you're ATK? If you stay around too long, Adaro, you're going to get taken out.
Yeah, he's still hovering around here. They're going to get ahead of his smoke, though, and Doru will take down Adaro. The names that tend to give some casters a bit of trouble because they're fairly similar. Doru Adaro.
Say that 10 times fast and you're going to be around your tongue.
What a nice rounder from ATK when they're up against the wall, Nick. A must-win round pretty much for them, and I must commend their confidence they're still bringing to the table, even though they're down 12-7. They're not letting that drastically change their approach. You can see the way that Fady had peaked in apartments, the way Slowy peaked Massacre. Even though they're 12-7 behind, they're still playing their natural game, and that's really impressive.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that natural game that you alluded to is all of confidence, right?
Absolutely.
Just as ADM alluded to. We asked him what makes ATK so good.
Yep.
And his answer was the fact that they have confidence. Maybe they don't have the best 5 players in the server. You could argue that they don't. You can argue that they do. But the fact is that they come into each game with full glasses of confidence brimming across the top, overflowing with it. And ADM, we asked him, how are you going to beat ATK today? And he said himself, with confidence.
Yep.
If they have confidence, they're going to take the game to ATK, and that's what we're seeing. We saw them on the T side, taking the fights, taking the duels. On the CT side, you can do that to a certain extent, but the question is, what's too much? So now they're 4 rounds to the good. They're an eco besides that of ADM's AWP. So now if you're ATK, you're starting to try to close the gap to 3 and possibly to 2.
Goliath with pretty much just the AWP in their corner right now. ADM, he's been great so far throughout the half, and he's going to be able to catch an angle on Mistum. He's definitely slowed down on the CT side, but that's understandable, right? Because you only can do so much as to how much traffic is coming your way. Kani! That was fire. He was standing in the flames. Somehow he's able to stay alive. Oh, and slowly legs up his teammate. This round is actually falling apart at the seams right now. ADM, he's hovering around, but he re-peaks, and that costs him his life. Still, though, it's a 2 versus 4. ATK have dropped the ball in a massive way right now. This is their second anti-eco round they could be losing in this map alone, Nick. This could cost them dearly.
Oh, this round comes off this gun.
Not like this, Massacre.
Watching on your screen, no. Massacre's going to try and get something done. They got the B bomb site, but the problem is the bomb is bottom T ramp. Slowy, he's got all the info that the bomb site is vacant for the most part, but there is players rotating in.
This is doable, though.
Yeah, a re-smoke towards CT, a bad smoke be as it may, so that could possibly warrant a smoke push, but a flash is going to stop that. So the bomb is going to be planted, I would assume. Maybe you can push the issue of a flash from Massacre. They're actually going to try boost over, but slowly he's holding it. He's been reading the strat from Goliath, and he's going to make it even that more doable. A 2v4 post plant. Doro, he's going to win out that gunfight over towards Massacre. Slowly over towards Zip, and now to Doro left with a P250 and nothing else. Over towards Brian. Slowly he's going to try be the winner of the round pretty much single-handedly, but Adaro, if he wins out this gunfight and a trade frag doesn't come in fast enough from the low HP of Doru, this could be a 1v2, 1 out from Adaro, but it's Doru over towards, there's no kit, no.
Yeah, that's round done. Man, Nick, that was such a crazy round. It started off with ADM doing the most with the AWP towards Banana. Oh, how he will rue his decision to re-peak, though, after he got that second kill. He could have fallen back onto the B side. He decides to re-peak, and Slowy punishes him. But mad props to Slowy in that round, my guy. If he doesn't get aggressive as soon as he finds that kill and has the confidence to secure B, that round is pretty much unwinnable for ATK. He secures the real estate, calls the rotations across, and then Doru and Slowy play that as if it was a textbook.
Yeah, but all that being said, right, a very hard-fought round from ATK, taking nothing away from them. But it was an eco besides the opener of ADM, and now they're facing the real gunfight. That being a buy round, and a great flash from Slowy comes in to allow Blaze and Avenue up towards upper B, and now it's ADM left. All on his lonesome towards the B-bomb site. Maybe Blaze is going to try push this to try get some extra info, but he's on 4 HP and you don't want to be throwing away that man advantage if you're ATK. Slowy's going to smoke over towards Arch, and Brackets control as well as Banana control has gone the way of ATK. So if you're Goliath, you've got no info, you're hunkering into the bomb sites, and it's a 2v2 split, and 5 people are coming up towards A.
Yeah, how does ZipZip lock this one down along with Adaro, tasked with such a massive job right now, and ATK making the perfect moves as they push through Archers and they pinch onto the say site. Adaro's been taken down, so now it's left on ZipZip's shoulders. He's able to find the first, but surely the trade is imminent. He gets the second, doesn't expect the third. All in the meanwhile, Slowy's also taking down ADM. ATK about to draw back within 2 rounds here, Nick, which means all that hard work that was done in the first half has completely diminished. It's fallen away, and it's pretty much back at even game right now. Anybody can win from here.
Yeah, without a doubt. 11-4 up, and now you've posted 1 round on the CT side. ATK have posted 6 of their own, and that's exactly what you were saying, right? ATK's T side is polished. They know what they're doing, even though it's a map that they're more often they're not going to first ban. I mean, I'm still surprised the fact that we're watching Inferno, but be it as it may.
We are.
Exactly. Are we watching it? Is this Overpass? What is going on? But the fact is that ATK, they, as you said, right, their T side's polished. They know what they're doing. They check all the boxes, and they've posted 6 in a row with only one, no, sorry, not 6 in a row, but 6.5, only with 1 reply from Goliath, and that's prompted a Goliath timeout to come out.
I'm grateful for that, man. I could do with the timeout right now. I think we need an opportunity to catch our breath, just considering how fantastic and how entertaining and scintillating this series has been so far. It's been super fast-paced, tons of energy in the server right now. No energy were eliminated, so not them. Of course, they're the 2 times defending back-to-back Comic-Con champions, and they don't even have a chance to defend their title, Nick. After winning 2 years in a row, they get eliminated before the final stage. F's in chat for energy, everyone.
Yeah, definitely, I think. Speaking of energy and the favorites to win the tournament, right? I think we're looking at them right now.
Yeah,
it's either
teams,
ATK or Goliath. I mean, if you ask anyone in the scene right now, if they have any sort of scope of the South African graphic right now, who's going to win Comic-Con 2020? ATK or Goliath. More often than not, you're gonna answer ATK. But as ADM said when you spoke to him a while ago, he said they're different beasts when they're playing this sort of game and at this sort of stage in the tournament. So they've already posted 12, which is quite more than they've posted in previous encounters. They were able to get close on Vertigo, as you mentioned prior, but this round we're supposed to be casting it. Something was supposed to happen, but it just seems to be a stock standard B execute coming out.
Yeah, it's just anti-eco.
It's just
so it's okay.
Yeah, we never. Maybe Canny with the AWP gets 5, and we just
true.
We're just like, you know, we're talking about ATK, they favorites, but then Canny, he says Matt and Nick, shut up, you know. we're in the server, but it's 11-12 and ATK we've got a game on our hands. We've got a game on our hands.
Yeah, I mean 11-12 though, considering how this half has gone, you have to say that ATK are on the driver's seat, right? If they can level the scoreline in that next gun round, that's going to be a massive mental high ground that they achieve. How do Goliath swallow that pill? That'll be tough for sure. So big round coming up in the next for Goliath Gaming, and you can see why they're saving. They've got 3 players who have still got they've got light armor, but they still have 100 health, which means it's just going to cost them $350 to buy up head armor in their next, just subsidizing the economy a little bit. But pretty much the next round, I don't want to say do or die for Goliath, and it's all because they had such a fantastic first half that they have this insurance, that they have this extra buffer, but that buffer has very quickly been wiped to the wayside. 11-12. Look at the money for ATK. It's not fantastic, but they do have enough to buy in the bank if they lose this round, maybe twice over.
Yeah, exactly, and the same can't be said about Goliath. You're pretty much all in this round. If you lose this round, you're submitting 12 all, and then you're possibly submitting a 13-12 victory. So it is going to be interesting. There's the double AWP setup coming out from ADM and Cannies. That's something interesting to keep your eye out for. The Slowy has got the AWP in the server as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how he activates. But a mid smoke upper B, upper mid smoke miss.
Yeah.
There's going to be an interesting way in which ATK could get away into this round.
Looks like Goliath have got the French hold here in apartments, but the problem is Adara is left high and dry as Kani misses his shot, and off the back of that ATK, they're charging towards the archers. ADM's good for one, but the trade is immediate. Zip swings out as a result, and he goes down as well. The A bomb site now, it's falling apart at the seams. The gun barrel's been spotted of Kani in the pits. They know exactly where he is, and it's moments until Fady finds the frag. Goliath Gaming just not dealing with the heat that ATK are bringing on the T side right now,
Yeah,
Nick.
jeez, ATK are looking polished. They're
What
looking
madmen.
good. Honestly, they're oh my days. They're even playing around the double AWP setup on the T side. Why not? You know, it's post plot. It's massacre. Who cares? You know. It's
And
not
neither
like
one of
he's-
them are slowy as well, just by the way. Like, what's going on
it's
here?
not like he's one of the best riflers in South Africa, right? Like, who's this Dean guy that's trying to 1v3? But it does look like it's going to be a 12-all score. And as you said, right, that buffer that you built out towards the whole first half, it's done. You're
gone.
left high and dry, and there's nothing left for you to do. They're juggling the 3 ops in the corner, and it's 12.
Where's the nade?
It's
He had
12
one.
all.
Massacre had a nade. Come on,
Oh.
Dean. You got to be throwing the nade in the corner of pit. You know, when they're saving A site Inferno. Channel your inner dozier,
Yeah.
the X God.
Oh, it's 12 all. It's 12 all.
You said like you're surprised, Nick. Don't forget ATK on the T side of Inferno are another force to be reckoned with entirely. It's always been their CT side, which has cost them dearly. But Goliath, they're going to be kicking themselves, right? They got Inferno. They got off to the amazing start on their T side. They made it 11-4, but all that hard work has been undone. How do you go into the second map if you lose this as Goliath? Hold the phone, though, because they're getting super aggressive towards Banana off the back of the util. Although Zip. He didn't get the memo. Guys, we're cancelling the plans for tonight. Sorry, he was waiting outside the club for his friends to arrive, and they just didn't pitch.
Oh, they've traded places in the mid-smoke. Kenny, he doesn't have anything besides a Diga and armor.
And Adara's baiting as well.
Yeah, so Kenny, he could be good for multiple. Does he knife? Oh, they traded
I know.
places in the smoke once again. Does he
Oh
have anyone?
no, I'm so
What?
sorry, Trevor. I'm so
No
sorry.
ways.
Oh, that is just so unfortunate for Kani. I can't even explain enough how heartbreaking that is. He held all the aces. And then
He was telling his teammates, don't peek, guys. I'm getting 4.
yeah,
I'm getting 4.
giving them the info, asking for the
my
baits.
days. And Fady just runs back middle to the smoke, like, why not, you know?
Yeah.
And slowly comes, oh my day. If you're Trevor, you're kicking yourself.
See, if we knew poker, we could make a really cool like poker reference there about how he was holding the right cards, but then the river didn't reveal what he needed. But I don't know poker well enough to come up with the reference. But you guys get where I'm going with that. He had everything in his favor, but unfortunately, it just didn't turn out to be his day in that moment. Nick, 13-12 for the first time on this map, for the first time in this match. ATK are going to be ahead. And with this confidence and momentum behind them, how on earth do Goliath stop them?
100%. And as you were saying earlier in the game, ADM, he's firing on all the cylinders. He's 21 and 11 right now. He's showing up, but now he needs his teammates to pick up the slack. Maska, he's positive at 14-12, but those two players, they can't just be doing everything on the server. You're 13-12 now. You've just lost the lead for the first time in the map.
Yeah.
And now you're going to leave ADM to solo B. So they're really clutching at straws, like Goliath, but you never know what they can get done. ADM, he's always good for 2, as the age-old saying goes. So we're going to see what they can get done in another important buy round. 4 CTs over towards lane. 4.
Wow, do you think they're preempting some sort of aggression there? I mean, ATK haven't gone B once in these gun rounds, so I'm not surprised that Goliath are posturing like this. They want to try and lock down brackets. They want to take the fight to ATK. Kani's going to open things up with the AWP. He's got supports as well, and it seems like ATK are going to continue to force the issue. Missed him. He just charges through the smoke. He goes down as well, and finally, Goliath Gaming have the CT side on lockdown, comfortably winning around here, unless Fady can do something absolutely crazy. He has been able to get out of the apartments at the bare minimum. He's in mini pit right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's dropped down, but he doesn't realize that his death is imminent. Zip sits above him, and he's going to drop down and find the frag. 13-13 Goliath, showing they still have life left in them yet.
Even though you've got life left in you, Blaze has got 14k left in him, so
Yeah.
they're going to have to get another couple rounds like that. And Goliath, they didn't drop anyone besides 1 that round, so their bank's still looking pretty good. They can still reinvest into those double AWPs, which came into full effect that round. ADM soloing B, and they're going to actually pull out the same setup, I believe. They had ADM soloing B and a 3-player apps setup, as well as Kami holding towards middle. So the question is, do they go back to that same sort of setup?
Oh, deep smoke from Massacre in middle.
Triple lane.
Yeah, I'm shocked that Goliath are committing to the setup again, and you can see that immediately Massacre seems to be itching to rotate across towards that B bomb site, and that certainly is the right decision. ATK have already got full banana control, and it seems like they've left the bomb at bottom of T ramp. They might be ending up here towards this B bomb site. They're just trying to bleed a little bit of util out of those defenders, and that's why Slowy drops the smoke. Bit of a lurk smoke perhaps, and they're going to go for the boost up. Does ADM preempt the boost is the question. He is still on the side of the map all by himself, Nick. Massive job on his shoulders, and with that frag, all of a sudden ATK are going to be hightailing their way to the B's bomb site because they know they have no choice. There's no one left at A. They have no map control. They have no positions available. So now they make their way forward. ADM with the big job on his shoulders, and he's going to land the shot onto Blaze. That's all he needs to do. Now he just has to stay alive. He's going to continue to hang around, and that's going to cost him his life. That could have been a mistake there. That was an advantage, a two-man advantage for Goliath. We know how tough this bomb site can be to retake. There's no util left here for ATK. There is plenty for Goliath, but it doesn't matter when Doru lands the double spray down. He also re-peaks though. Too many re-peaks coming through from both of these teams, and it's left it in even numbers. Kani and Adaro tasked with trying to get this round across the line and get Goliath Gaming ahead here once again on Inferno. The molly's going to come through, but Kani's also mollied out. Slowly gets the frag. He tries to stay alive for as long as he can. Missed him. Left now to salvage the round for his team. The captain and IGL hiding in the briar as he did last time to try and clutch it out for his team. Kani coming around the corner will get the shot, and he's got the 4K in the round to win it for his team. Oh my god, Nick.
Oh my days, what is going on? Like, what a roller coaster of emotions. You think, okay, Goliath win the round, it's a 5v3. Then Doru gets a double 3v3. Then Slowy gets one in the molly and it's a 1v1. Like, what is going on? I think Gareth knew that he had the play if he just hit in Briar. I think he may have doubted himself, but that's all ifs and buts. Kani, he gets the 4K in the round. Ultimately, big game player. And Goliath, they've called out the timeout. They just want to stop the heart racing so much. But again, it's that 1-4 setup. They have ADM soloing B and 4 players over towards A, and you only lost Fady, and only when you lost Fady did you say, okay, let's actually go B. You went B, you won it out with a man disadvantage, and then you almost win out the post plant. So do Goliath shift their setup now? Do they play more 2-3, or do they take banana with 3, or what are they going to do? Because surely if you're ATK, you've sussed out this sort of setup, and possibly you're going to be bringing fire into next round. And Goliath, they've changed their setup once more.
The one thing I will say is that these guys need to stop re-peaking so much, because players keep on giving up big advantages for their teams by going for the extra fight. You saw what happened there with ADM after he got the pick at Coffins, and then he could have fallen away, but he re-peaked and died. Doru as well, he could have secured the round for his team after he got that amazing 2-piece. We know he's feeling the momentum and the confidence after that, but that doesn't matter. You need to have the discipline to say, okay, I've done my job, now you fall back. Very tough thing to do though in that moment. Very, very tough thing to get a hold of yourself in that situation. 14-13 here. Goliath getting ahead once again as ATK start working their way towards this B bomb site. ADM looking for an angle through the smoke, not able to find one as Blaze gets a bit of love from Massacre. That nade should finish him off. No, actually goes slightly deep.
Oh, but look at Slowy's position.
Oh, he's gone through.
Slowy's wrapping.
They don't know. There's no way they're aware of this right now.
There's a player towards Emo. He's not going to see him. What is going on?
Unless he clears it, right? Unless he hard checks it. We need he needs to have the trigger discipline right now as he just makes his way forward. Massacre gets taken down, and now Slowy, he knows. He's heard the AWP click, and he's heard the AWP scope, and he's all too familiar with that sound of the weapon. And that is going to be the bomb site now in control of ATK. Goliath have no choice. They have to save. And this is where ATK need to charge, Nick. They need to try and stop them from saving these weapons. They've got so much residual money left in the bank. They can buy up even if they lose all 5 players. I really want to see ATK hunt here to try and deny Goliath saving these rifles.
And not only the fact that you can't reinvest rifles into the next round, it's the mental factor. You're not... ATK aren't giving you anything.
Yeah.
If you're Goliath, you want to save these 3 rifles, ATK, they're not going to let you do so. But they are going to try to push the issue. It does look like it's going to be a bit late, but there's still about 8 seconds left on the bomb, so we are going to see what they can get done.
I don't know, Nick. They're getting in position. They're taking the fights. They've found one of the players already, and ATK are getting in position to deny these weapons. Can Goliath fight their way out of the corner? They desperately need to take these weapons into the next round, and it seems like they may just have done enough. Oh, unfortunately, the AWP. Oh, what? Oh, the HUD just took a second there to refresh. My goodness, it caught me off guard. Kani, though, just enough money to buy the AWP again, so it's not going to cost them too much in the long run. Oh my God, Nick, this has been such a close game. 14-14, exactly what you want between these two teams. An incredibly close, scintillating match. And it's all to play for right now. ATK with plenty money left in the bank. They're buying up if they lose. It's the same comp he said for Goliath. It's a must-win round for them.
One thing I do want to point out is, first of all, there's no AWP setup, which has been serving Goliath very well in the CT side. The 2 rounds they were able to post the first couple of gun rounds, were all with double AWPs.
Yeah, sure.
But another thing to point out is Slowy doesn't have an AWP of his own. He's gone for the 5 rifle setup along with the 4 of his teammates, so that's something else to be interested in. But ADM, he's over towards Sandbags playing anti-flash, and if he's not mollied out, he could be good for a couple. But if Slowy checks in,
he's caught in transition.
ADM's caught in transition, and Slowy,
he's doing it again. He's doing it again. He did it on Vertigo last weekend. He just took the bull by the horns. He said, guys, just chill out. I've got this. He peeks Banana, finds the first, continues to regress, gets the second as well. And he secures map point here on Inferno for ATK.
Goliath
That is heartbreaking for Goliath. Nick, this was their map pick. They were ahead 11-4. They even brought it back to 14-14. They did everything they needed to keep themselves in the hunt. And that has dwindled away. They are now faced with a mammoth task of trying to deny ATK this map point and take the game to overtime. They just have to win one more round though, Nick. Goliath need one more round to go to OT to reset the standings, right? Wow, I'm loving this right now. I am absolutely loving this. Seeing these two teams going toe-to-toe, South Africa's best 2 teams clashing and just showing what a massive amount of skill there is on the server. Yes, right now ATK's T-side is predicated off their individuals popping off, but it generally is. That's no surprise, right? Just look at how slow he's just turned on this T-side, Nick. I actually want to get a look at his frag count if we could have a quick look at the scoreboard here. Because he started off really slowly in that first half. He's got 25 kills and 20 deaths now, Nick. What an impressive performance from him.
Yeah, definitely. 25 to 20.
Top of the server.
Just as you were saying ADM was, right? He was 9-0 at one stage. I think he was 17-4 on the CT side.
After 13 rounds.
He's completely nullified on the CT side. He's only able to post about 4, maybe 5 on the CT side rather. So that's something to keep in mind. Blaze, he's also doing well. Yes, he's 10-16, but he's got 10 assists, which shows that ADR is definitely up there. But at Goliath, rather, they don't have real estate to win out this gun round. But actually, Adara, he's going to get the opening frag, and they're going to get out and dodge. This is what you want to see. Not overstaying your welcome.
Yes.
You get the man advantage, you dip out. But with that kill going the way, ATK, they're just going to 4-man up Banana, flashing towards the site, and the only player here is ADM, and he's going to be locked out the bomb site with the smoke.
Yeah, this is problematic for Goliath, Nick. The B retakes haven't been going too well for them in the past few rounds, have they?
Definitely not. And now, what is like? If Goliath, they don't have any mollies. You can't flush out any positions. Yes, you got a smoke for upper B, and maybe Kenny can put a smoke on the bomb. You got 2 kits. You got a couple flashes, but
big kill.
Okay. 3v5. Let me hold my horses. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's 3v5, and Blazy's going to take out Nazca. A good flash comes in. Team flash actually. Doru takes on ADM. Big game players come out, missed him. He's going to spot out Nazca. He's Kenny. He's good for another one there. Doru left. He was the
can do
this.
this.
The opening frag.
And
he
we
gets
can't.
taken out by Doru at 16-14.
Oh my God, Nick.
Is the score, and oh my days, 11-4 up, down to 16-14. Oh my, if you're Goliath, how are you going to bring this back? How are you going to win it out? How do Goliath win out the second map?
Nick, all I'll say is if that first map is anything to go by, we are in for another fantastic second map coming up. But Goliath, they did everything they could, and it still wasn't enough. It was even their map. They got off to that amazing start in the first half, and ATK from behind 11-4. They stay true to their cause, and they have a fantastic performance on their T side. That was impressive by ATK. The fact that they were behind after they used to pretty much always being ahead in their matches, the fact that they were capable of still fighting their way, making the comeback happen, that was a testament to the amount of depth they have in their team and the amount of tenacity that the individuals have.
Without a doubt, and that's exactly what we want to see at this stage of the tournament. It's the upper bracket finals where the big game players really come out of their shells. Yeah. And we see, as we said, we mentioned names like Slowy, names like Mistem, names like Doru that showed up to the occasion. They played when it mattered most, and they were able to win out the first gunfight, the first map. And as you said, 11-4 down, the tenacity that they showed was unparalleled. And now it's on their map pick. And as I've said to you multiple times, it's today the day.
Yeah.
And I'm going as far as to say it's probably not. It's probably not. But as much as I want it to be,
I know. Everybody
you want to see them
does.
knocked off your pedestal, right? You want ATK. They've had it so easy.
Yeah.
And now it's
That was heartbreaking
16,
for
14.
Goliath, though.
Yeah, they know that all too well,
Yeah.
right? It's happened so often.
And now they need to come off of that and try and fight their way through Mirage, which has historically been ATK's map in the series against one another pretty much every single time. And very like one-sided, like 16-8, 16-9s normally when they play against each other on Mirage. So that doesn't spell a very positive, realistic situation that Goliath can take this to a third map. They've definitely got the individuals who can be successful on Mirage, but the teamwork on ATK just seems to be really solid. And it was those individual players which actually worked out really well for ATK, right? Just going back to Infernal a little bit. It seemed like Goliath weren't even hitting their shots. They weren't even fragging anymore like they were in the first half. We could just see those numbers were just like incrementing by a kill maybe every 2 or 3 rounds on each of the players. ATK were winning their T-side rounds, keeping 3 or 4 players alive nearly every time. They looked fully in control on that T-side.
Yeah, ATK, I was doubting them, right? I said they were 11-4 down. What's going to go on? Is today the day? But you said, Nick, listen, ATK's T-side is unparalleled.
Yeah.
And they showed up to the occasion, right?
Yeah.
As you said, individual players, Slowy, double picks over towards upper B. On the CT side, he was a bit iffy, maybe overstaying his welcome. But on the T side, he knows double kills all too well, right?
Yeah.
Opening bomb sites on his own. And ultimately, they won out the map 16-14. But that was Goliath's map pick.
Yeah.
That's something really to keep in mind.
Yeah, it certainly is. So, guys, that is the first map of the upper bracket final. Done and dusted. Inferno won by ATK 16-14. The next map coming up in the series is going to be Mirage. It's going to be a banger. Although, before I disembark, I want to let you know what we have in store for the break, because it's not just going to be some cool music and graphics. We've actually got interviews with the MGO owners of ATK and Goliath that are not going to be played. I've just received word. We're going to be keeping that in the back pocket a little bit longer. We want to keep the content for when it matters the most. Of course, there's a long weekend coming up, so we don't want to be showing our hand too early. We're going to be having about a 10 to 15 minute break, and then we will be returning with the second map, which will be Mirage. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Telkom vs Gaming Masters Season 5 Comic-Con Online. We are in the final stage of the event and we're straight into the thick of things, already going into map number 2.